let's do a good one right here. So this is coming from the Delaware Super Troopers. That three of them that ganged on Mr. I try to think his name right now, but yeah. Anyway, so they filed this out of court, but this just got released today. But here's the deal: how went over a month ago. It was almost 2 months ago, and he gives more detail about Brian does. This is self-explanatory. What's right and wrong about policing like that, and these super are absolutely disgusting like that. The reason why I'm doing this as well because this goes deeper besides the $50,000 federal judgment as well. They ripped up his sign. He flipped him off. They pulled him over. The Douglas trooper was going more than 100 miles an hour in the 55 zone, double the speed. Just like the Seattle PD, who was doing 74 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour zone for a high priority call, and did not see Janami Kandula, which almost instantly killed her. Yeah, see what I'm saying? How cops prioritize themselves or calls or anything like that, putting other citizens in danger lives like that. Reason why I'm bringing this up as well too. I don't think the channel brings it up, but Brian does on Here's the Deal. And I'm going to bring it up right here, so just to let you be warned, and reason why they're about the settlement as well too. These cops try and fabricate charges. They said they're going to tow his van, kidnap his child, his son, place him into a foster care in CPS and DHS, and they're going to kidnap his dog. And his dog was in the car too as well. And they're going to put him in a humane society. Check this out.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers the First Amendment, unlawful seizures, and disorderly conduct, and is brought to us by Delaware Online. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On March 11th, 2022, 54-year-old Jonathan Glassford was standing in a grassy area next to the shoulder of a road in Cheswold, Delaware, holding up a small cardboard sign that read "Radar Ahead" when he was approached by Corporal Stephen Douglas and Trooper Nicholas Gallo of the Delaware State Police. Shortly after the officers approached him, Mr. Glassford began to film the encounter.
I am engaged in a First Amendment activity that is protected.
I want to take the sign.
You are not taking my property.
Listen to me. If you put it,
you are not taking my property. What's your badge number?
My badge number's right there.
Articulate.
No, I'm not going to.
Am I in detention? Are you detaining me? What are you detaining me for?
That's Douglas right there.
What are you detaining?
Disrupting traffic.
I'm not disrupting anything. I am engaged in a First Amendment. I am not. You're a liar. You are a liar. I have never been in traffic.
There was a third one, Mr.
So you can shut that
Trooper Bob.
I'm on the side of the road, legally parked, with a sign which is protected by the First Amendment. So you can. I'm disrupting nothing. I'm going to do it right here where I'm at. I'm not.
I have drivers coming up to me telling me that you're jumping out in traffic.
Because apparently they're erroneous. I don't give a what somebody else says. What did you witness?
Yeah,
nothing of the sort. So keep
your into traffic,
yourself.
Playing traffic. He was not. He was nowhere near
because
the road,
you people come up here. I got a man trying to steal my property, telling me he's not going to let me do something that's constitutionally protected. No, I'm not. What's the statute for that? You have no authority whatsoever over me because I've committed no crime.
You're not saying you committed a crime.
You're not saying I committed a crime and you just tried to steal my property.
I didn't try to steal it.
Yes, you did. You said I am taking. You have nothing. You're not going to not allow me because you have no authority to stop me. Period. No authority to stop me.
I'm not going to let you do it, sir. You wanted our attention. You got it.
I don't want your attention. Go the away, road pirate.
You wanted our attention.
Go away, road pirates.
It's a shame. You got to bring your kid out here on the side.
I'm teaching my kid not to respect pieces of crap like you guys.
They're right to say that. And they're saying, dang,
you keep saying jumping in traffic. When did you witness this offense? So you came to me.
Aware about
I'm not right over here.
Brutality, corruption,
I'm not on the road. I'm not on the road. I'm not blocking the roadway. I'm not in the roadway. I haven't jumped in the roadway. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Corporal Douglas and Trooper Gallo claim that Mr. Glassford is disrupting traffic because drivers are slowing down to see his sign. But Mr. Glassford asserts that he is engaged in a constant...
You know what? Let me tell you something, too, as well. You know, how many times have we seen signs, you know, like a speed limit sign, stop sign, or turn, like, you know, or soft right sign or swerve sign like that. Oh, we see a sign that says 10 piece special at the chicken joint on the street, or a Burger King sign, or a or a bill ad, an advertisement sponsor.
Constitutionally protected
all the time.
activity. According to
And another thing about it is, what do people really slow down to see when there's cops present or if there's a traffic accident? I've never seen anybody in the right mind slow down to see somebody holding a sign, because they're going to be like, they'll see it like, I mean, that's like, what's next? Are they going to go around saying, well, they have to go get a hold of somebody that was having a sign on a telephone pole and trying to promote a garage sale? I've never seen anybody anything like that.
Section 1301 of Title 11 of the Delaware Code, quote, a person is guilty of disorderly conduct when the person intentionally causes public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to any other person, or creates a risk thereof by obstructing vehicular or pedestrian traffic. Although it is possible that if Mr. Glassford was actually jumping into traffic as the officers claimed, he could be found guilty of violating this statute, the statute prohibits obstructing traffic, not disrupting or distracting it. So it is likely that a court would conclude traffic could not be obstructed by someone holding a sign on the side of the road. Furthermore, Mr. Glassford's sign constituted written speech subject to First Amendment protections, and therefore, Mr. Glassford could not be held criminally liable for the content of his speech unless it fell into one of the limited categories of...
And the thing I'll bring up too as well, that Mr. Guffson's sign was, his sign is no different than that sign that you saw, the traffic light sign. That's no different.
Unprotected speech outlined by the Supreme Court, such as obscenity, defamation, fraud, incitement, and speech integral to criminal conduct. In the 1949 case of Giboney versus Empire Storage Company, the Supreme Court held that the First Amendment does not protect speech or writing used as an integral part of conduct in violation of a valid criminal statute. Although neither the state of Delaware nor the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Delaware, has ruled on a similar issue, courts in other jurisdictions have generally determined that signaling other drivers to warn them of upcoming speed traps is a constitutionally protected activity, and rejected arguments that such speech is unprotected because it facilitates illegal speeding activity. For instance, in the 2014 case of Ellie versus City of Ellisville, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri concluded that flashing headlights to warn drivers of upcoming speed traps was, quote, expressive conduct that sends a message to bring one's driving in conformity with the law, and therefore did not illegally interfere with a police investigation. Similarly, the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Wisconsin noted in the 2019 case of Obrecht versus Splinter that, quote, although the law is far from clear on this issue, an individual who flashed his headlights to warn of an upcoming speed trap, now quoting again, at most may have prevented the State Patrol from apprehending a few would-be speeders. The court then implied that the potential crime at issue was not sufficient for the government to rationalize its infringement on speech, citing the 2002 case of Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition, where the Supreme Court stated that, quote, the prospect of crime by itself does not justify laws suppressing protected speech. Although Mr. Glassford was holding a sign on the side of the road rather than flashing the headlights of a vehicle, these cases indicate that a court could agree that Mr. Glassford's sign constituted protected speech under the First Amendment, and that he accordingly could not be criminally prosecuted for simply holding it. However, because Mr. Glassford's actions did not seem to fall within the prohibitions of the Delaware Disorderly Conduct Statute, it is likely that a court would conclude that he could not be convicted of obstructing traffic without needing to address the First Amendment issue.
Oh, so when you pull people over with radar, you're disrupting traffic because they're slowing down. That's your logic? Get out of here.
That's fine. You can stand right there. But
Stand where I want. You ain't going to stop me because you have no authority to stop me. Put your hands on me. You see what this did? You see what he did?
And you see that? Let me point out something real quick right there. See, there are other signs. They're complaining about saying, "Oh, disrupting the traffic." There's a sign there. There's a sign there. And that's the thing. There's signs along traffic all the time. All the time.
Don't put your hands on me. Do not. Give me my property back. You piece of. Give me my property back. You see this?
That's what they did.
You tyrant piece of.
They took his sign and ripped it up.
You tyrant. What are your badge numbers?
Step back, okay?
No.
Don't walk up.
No, you
like
stole
that.
my property.
Did you see anything in my hands?
You
Stole your
piece
property?
of.
Have a nice day.
You assaulted me standing right here, you
If
piece
he
of.
statute, he would understand that's not assault.
Nicholas,
That's not assault.
you attacked me, forcibly
What
removed
statute
my
is that?
property.
What statute is that?
It's called suck my. cop.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Glassford argues that Trooper Gallo assaulted him by taking his sign and tearing it up. According to Section 611 of Title 11 of the Delaware Code, an individual is guilty of assault in the third degree, which is the lowest level assault charge in the state, when the individual intentionally or recklessly causes physical injury to another person. Likewise, Section 601, which defines the offense of offensive touching, states that, quote, a person is guilty of offensive touching when the person intentionally touches another person, either with a member of his or her body or with any instrument, knowing that the person is thereby likely to cause offense or alarm to such other person. Although Mr. Glassford instructed the troopers not to touch him, it is not clear from the available footage whether Trooper Gallo made any physical contact with Mr. Glassford while grabbing the sign from him. If contact was made, it is possible that a court could conclude that the act constituted assault or offensive touching. On the other hand, if Trooper Gallo did not make any physical contact with Mr. Glassford's body, it is likely that a charge of criminal mischief would be more appropriate. Under Section 811 of Title 11 of the Delaware Code, quote, a person is guilty of criminal mischief when the person intentionally or recklessly damages tangible property of another person. Here, Trooper Gallo clearly and intentionally damaged Mr. Glassford's sign, so it is possible that a court would conclude that his conduct constituted a violation of the statute. However, under subsection C of the criminal mischief statute, quote, it is a defense that the defendant has a reasonable ground to believe that the defendant has a right to engage in the conduct, and a court could potentially conclude that as a police officer, Trooper Gallo had reasonable grounds to believe he had the authority to confiscate and destroy the sign. Still, under the Fourth Amendment, law enforcement officers may only seize the property of another when such conduct is quote-unquote reasonable. In the 1984 case of U.S. versus Jacobson, the Supreme Court noted that, quote, a seizure of property occurs when there is some meaningful interference with an individual's possessory interests in that property, and that although taking and destroying personal property is a seizure, such seizures are only unlawful if they are unreasonable. The court also explained that in order to assess the reasonableness of a seizure, courts, now quoting, must balance the nature and quality of the intrusion on the individual's Fourth Amendment interests against the importance of the governmental interests alleged to justify the intrusion. Here, Trooper Gallo and Corporal Douglas claim their interest is to prevent Mr. Glassford from quote-unquote distracting other drivers. But the interest they intruded on was Mr. Glassford's First Amendment right to freedom of speech, which the government may only restrict in certain narrowly defined circumstances. Accordingly, Mr. Glassford would have a strong argument that Trooper Gallo violated both his Fourth and First Amendment rights by destroying the sign.
All right, could you stop playing in traffic now?
I'm not playing in traffic, and you're getting a complaint, and you're getting a complaint, and I'm going home, making a new one up, and coming right back here.
Okay. And then we'll come back and stay out of the roadway.
I wasn't in the roadway, you piece. You understand you just committed a crime. You stole my property. You had no authority whatsoever to do it. And you know it, and you know you're up. Which troop are you operating out of? 9?
That's Troop 9.
Troop 9, you. I'm speaking to you, pork rind. Where are you operating out of so I can go now and file my complaint?
If you want to address me properly, I'll respond to your...
After the initial encounter, Mr. Glassford got in his vehicle and drove away. As he did so, he stuck his hand out the window and he flipped off the troopers, who then, according to dashcam footage, chased after him at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone to pull him over. After Mr. Glassford stopped his vehicle, Corporal Douglas approached the passenger side window.
Good afternoon, sir. Corporal Douglas, Delaware State Police. The reason I stopped you is you had your hand out the window with
So what?
Finger.
So what? It's constitutionally protected speech.
Is the reason why you're doing that?
You're stopping me for constitutionally protected speech, right?
Because you had your hand out the window.
This is what I did. You got a problem with that?
Sir,
Listen to me.
Go away.
Disorderly conduct.
No, it is not.
That is disorderly
That
conduct.
is called
You were
freedom
out in
of
the
speech.
If you were out in the public, you are out in the public and people see you.
No, it is not.
Here's what's going to happen.
No.
License, please.
No.
Here's what's going to happen.
I want your supervisor, please.
I am the supervisor. I am the supervisor. And that's why I'm here.
I'm going to reach into my pocket and get
You're
my license.
fine. You're fine.
And I'm going to take you to
You're fine.
court.
But here's what I'm saying. Take it to court. That's what I want you to do.
But before we go any farther, you're pulling me over for what?
Because you had your finger out.
Disorderly conduct.
Corporal Douglas and Master Corporal Rayford Box claim that Mr. Guessford committed
that's Mr.
disorderly
Box.
conduct by flipping them
Super
off.
Box.
In addition to prohibiting obstructing traffic, Section 1301 of Title 11 of the Delaware Code, which is the disorderly conduct statute that we discussed earlier in this episode, also states that an individual is guilty of disorderly conduct if they intentionally cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to any other person, or creates a risk thereof by, now quoting, making an unreasonable noise or an offensively coarse utterance, gesture, or display, or addressing abusive language to any person present. However, as the Third Circuit Court of Appeals explained in the 2003 case of Johnson versus Campbell, quote, when the regulated conduct consists of speech, the statute must be carefully drawn or authoritatively construed to punish only unprotected speech and not be susceptible of application to protected expression. The court also cited the 1989 case of State versus White, where the Superior Court of Delaware, quote-unquote, authoritatively construed the statute to prohibit only so-called fighting words, or those which by their very utterance inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of the peace, and ultimately concluded that, now quoting, therefore, when we read Section 1301, we must also read into it a restriction to punish only such speech that consists of fighting words. Now, while giving someone the middle finger is not pure speech, as the Supreme Court explained in the 1989 case of Texas versus Johnson, the protections of the First Amendment do not end at the spoken or written word, and, now quoting, conduct may be sufficiently imbued with elements of communication to fall within the scope of the First and 14th Amendments. In deciding whether particular conduct possesses sufficient communicative elements to bring the First Amendment into play, the court noted that the test was, quote, whether an intent to convey a particularized message was present, and whether the likelihood was great that the message would be understood by those who viewed it. Although the Supreme Court has not ruled specifically as to whether raising a middle finger constitutes protected speech, the gesture almost certainly satisfies the test for expressive conduct formalized in Texas versus Johnson, and courts that have reviewed the issue have generally determined that the middle finger is protected by the First Amendment. For instance, in the 2006 case of Corey versus Nassau, the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania, which lies in the Third Circuit, found that there was sufficient precedent to put the officer on notice that an individual's display of their middle finger did not constitute disorderly conduct, stating that, now quoting, numerous courts have recognized that the First Amendment right to be free from retaliation in response to constitutionally protected speech is clearly established, and more specifically, that this right encompasses the right to gesture with the middle finger, and even use expletives directed towards a police officer, so long as the conduct does not constitute fighting words, and that a reasonable officer should know that it is constitutionally protected behavior. Now, although this precedent is not binding on Delaware, it does show that federal courts within the same circuit have recognized that giving the middle finger to an officer is constitutionally protected expression, and, as such, suggests that a court would conclude that the Delaware disorderly conduct statute did not criminalize Mr. Guessford's gesture.
Now, here's what's about to happen. You're about to be arrested again for resisting arrest.
No, I'm not resisting anything.
Yeah. Right now you're being detained.
For what?
You're being
I
detained
told you why I stopped you already, sir.
For putting my middle finger up. That's correct?
No,
Correct.
no, exactly.
Correct. The window.
Okay, let me get your ID.
Okay, you had your middle finger out the window. Okay, yes.
The next thing you do, we're going to take you in, we're going to tow the car, and we'll call social services for the kid.
Oh, so now you're threatening. Now you're threatening my child.
There it is.
It's
You hear that?
a fraud.
Okay, we'll take you in, take your car, take your kid.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was alongside the road. Let me get you the ID because I'm going to take you to court and sue you.
Okay.
So I want to get this clear one more time. You pulled me over for a constitutionally protected activity, right?
I pulled you over because you had your finger.
Because I
your
flipped
arm
you
and your
off
finger.
because you stole my property.
Okay, registration insurance, please. You already know
Can you
how I
close
pulled
that
over.
door
I
so
told
the
you.
dog doesn't get out, please? You had no right to open my door.
Yes,
Well, how are you going to hand us the
I can hand you the paperwork.
Okay.
So you.
The troopers issued Mr. Guessford a citation for improper use of a hand signal under Section 4157 of Title 21 of the Delaware Code, which outlines proper methods for giving hand and arm signals when turning, stopping, or decreasing speed in a vehicle without a turn signal or brake lights. But the charge was later dropped. On February 17, 2023, Mr. Guessford filed a federal lawsuit alleging several violations of his constitutional rights. And on September 1st, 2023, Mr. Guessford accepted a $50,000 offer of judgment from Trooper Gallo, Corporal Douglas, and Master Corporal Box. According to Delaware Online, Mr. Glassford submitted a complaint to the Delaware State Police after the incident, and the officers were investigated by the department's Internal Affairs Unit. While Trooper Gallo was reprimanded for taking and destroying Mr. Glassford's sign, it was determined that the officers were acting in quote-unquote good faith in issuing the citation, and no disciplinary action was initiated against Corporal Douglas or Master Corporal Box. Overall, the Delaware troopers get an F for maintaining a hostile and unreasonable demeanor throughout the encounter and likely violating Mr. Glassford's First and Fourth Amendment rights multiple times by destroying his sign, ordering him to abandon his peaceful protest, and pulling him over and citing him for flipping them off. Additionally, one of the troopers' dash cams captured audio of two troopers discussing the lack of applicability of the improper hand signal statute when Mr. Glassford was first pulled over.
Yo, what's up, man? Hey, what's that? He stuck his middle finger out of the window. Okay. What's that? What's conduct? They probably won't go anywhere. Nah, is it like a improper hand signal or something? Charge? No, I mean like if you stick your finger, I'm telling you, if you put your arm out the road with a middle finger, you could. That's like isn't that? I'm pretty sure. You sure about that?
Likewise, Master Corporal Box's dash cam recorded him discussing the encounter with a supervisor and acknowledging that the traffic stop was unlawful and that the citation would be, quote-unquote, thrown out in court.
He came through, yelled at the window, and gave the finger as he was driving away. Dougie pulled him over and then wrote him for hand gestures. The hand gesture, I said, that's pushing it. You can't, I mean, he pulled him over for it, like giving him the middle finger. Yeah, for giving him the middle finger. So, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. That'll get dropped. Yeah, it's going to get thrown. I told him that's going to get thrown out, but it's just going, it's going to cause the problem.
This footage demonstrates the fact that the officers knew the citation they issued was not lawful, and that rather than acting in good faith, they likely cited Mr. Glassford in retaliation for his exercise of his First Amendment rights. Mr. Glassford gets an A, because although he was at times directing disrespectful speech and conduct towards the officers, he likely remained within the protections of the First Amendment throughout the encounter, and strongly advocated against the officers' multiple intrusions into his constitutional rights, both through his speech during the encounter and with his decision to file a complaint and a lawsuit after the fact. This encounter demonstrates how officers can trample on the constitutional rights of citizens when they make decisions based on personal offense rather than their legal duties. And I commend Mr. Glassford for taking appropriate legal action to defend his right to engage in First Amendment protected speech and exposing these officers' actions to the public through his lawsuit. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic.
This video.
Here we go.
It's this.
More in-depth of this.
You have the natural right to warn fellow travelers on the road of a speed trap ahead. Not only do you have the natural right, you have the constitutionally protected right under the First Amendment freedom of speech. And now you have, and we've had for quite some time, but this solidifies it, you have the court recognized right to warn fellow travelers on the road that there's a speed trap ahead. And that could take the form of flashing your lights and letting people know that, hey, I just passed a cop about a quarter of a mile back there. You might want to consider slowing down so that those revenue generators will not be able to generate revenue off of you. Remember this video that I went over a couple weeks ago? Well, there's a follow-up on this. I just want to refresh your memory. The voice of the man you're going to hear is Jonathan Glassford. Jonathan Glassford pulled over on the side of the road at a safe distance from the road and was warning travelers that these road pirates were ahead, ready to scalp more money and economically terrorize people who are on the road. Listen to this.
I am engaged in a First Amendment activity that is protected.
I want to take the sign.
You are not taking my property.
Listen to me. If you put it,
you are not taking my property. What's your badge number?
My badge number's right there. Okay.
Is that what you tell the judge?
What?
Is that what you tell the judge?
Is what would I tell the judge?
Right there.
This is Douglas, by the way. Douglas is named in the lawsuit that produced the settlement.
I'm asking for your badge number.
My badge number's right there.
What is your badge?
It's right there. It's right there.
Articulate.
No, I'm not going to articulate.
Am I in detention? Are you? for?
What?
What are you
You're
detaining?
disrupting traffic,
I'm not
sir.
disrupting
Yes, you
anything.
are.
I am engaged in a First Amendment.
Jumping in.
It's important that you get them to say that you are detained, because if they're not detaining you because they reasonably suspect or have
No, that it's like when you're dealing with police officers, the best thing to say is, "Am I free to go?" If they say no, they say, "Am I being detained?" If they say yes, then you go up to them and you ask them and say, "Okay, what reasonable articulate suspicion are you detaining me? What crime have you suspected I have committed, about to commit, or am committing right here?" Because if they don't sit there and they say they detain you, you know what they're doing? They're kidnapping you. And that's called, they're trying to extort you as well, too.
probable cause that you've committed a crime, then they are actually operating under the color of law and depriving you of your rights in violation of 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Now, we're going to get back to this video in a second, but I just want to show you that this CBS article says Delaware man who police blocked from warning of speed trap wins $50,000 judgment. Why? Because the Delaware state stormtroopers were in the wrong, and they were trying to deprive this guy of his rights under color of law. It says Delaware state police have agreed to pay $50,000 to resolve a federal lawsuit filed by the man who followed through, who said troopers violated his constitutional rights by preventing him from, this is key, what did they prevent him from doing? They, the troopers, the revenue generators who stood to benefit monetarily from getting other people on the roadside and economically terrorizing them, they were preventing this man from warning motorists about their speed trap. That is very, very important right here. The judgment was
also, this man was warning people of speed trap because he doesn't want people to get, suckered and succumb under the pressure of the law, their speed traps, because two police officers pulling you over speed trap, that's their cash cow, that's their revenue, that's their meat shield right there.
Entered Friday in favor of Jonathan Glassford, 54, who said in a lawsuit that police unlawfully prevented him from engaging in peaceful protest by standing on the roadside. That's another important thing. Where was he when he was engaging in this peaceful protest? And what were the cops saying about where he was standing? They're like, hey, it's not safe for you. It's not safe for other motorists. Hey, guess what? I'll take care of my own safety. You don't have to be worried about it. As a matter of fact, I know you're not worried about it, stormtroopers, because what you really want to do is exercise control over me, trample my rights, and tell people what to do, because it gives you a sense of empowerment. It gives you an ego trip. It helps get you drunk on your own power and authority. So he's on the side of the road, peacefully protesting, warning other passengers, other travelers, that, hey, there's a speed trap ahead, you might want to slow down. And he was holding up a cardboard sign that read, radar ahead. After Glassford raised a middle finger at troopers, which really damaged their egos, while driving away from an initial encounter, he was stopped and cited for improper use of a hand signal. These cops were desperate. Do you remember that part?
I am not. You're a liar.
It's unsafe.
You are a liar. I have never been in traffic.
And we'll see. Brian doesn't play it, but we saw in the previous video on the audit that the officers were going to charge you with obstruction. They say we're going to be arresting you, and you can be charged with resisting arrest because we're going to charge you with obstruction for hand gesture, middle finger, which is protected on the First Amendment of freedom of speech. And that officer that threatened that was Mr. Box.
Never. So you can shut that shit up. I'm on the side of the road, legally parked, with a sign which is protected by the First Amendment. So you can, I'm disrupting nothing. I'm going to do it right fucking here where I'm at. So I'm not.
I have drivers coming up.
You know what this man is doing? This man, in the face of armed enforcers, is standing not only for his rights, not only for his freedoms, not only for his liberties, but also the liberties and rights and freedoms of his family, of people in his zone of influence, and people for like you and me. Whenever injustice visits one man anywhere, it's visiting all men everywhere. It's just a matter of time before it gets to you, back to blue till it happens to you.
You're telling me that you're jumping out in traffic.
Because apparently they're erroneous. I don't give a shit what somebody else says. What did you witness?
Yep.
Nothing of the sort. So keep your bullshit to yourself.
You're very angry. Why
so hostile?
Because you people will come up here. I got a man trying to steal my property, telling me he's not going to let me do something that's constitutionally protected.
Traffic.
No, I'm not.
Stand on the side.
What's the statute for that? What's
like a horse staring at a new gate. What's the statute for? Well, there is no statute. I'm kind of making everything up on the fly, says the stormtrooper.
And that's what cops do. You know, say, well, what's the statute? Yeah, but they'll say, well, here's the statute. You looking like you're fucking lying. Well, no, we don't lie. We're police officers. We got the badge and the blue uniform. Yeah, okay. Okay, officer. Okay, super troopers. Yeah, you never lie. And birds never sing. And when it rains and shines, there's never rainbows.
If he was honest with himself. The episode on March 11, 2022 was captured on cell phone videos taken by Glassford and included in his complaint. Thank you, Glassford, for pushing the record button. That's what we should all be doing. Always record policy enforcers. Always record uniformed, badged tyrants in clown suits. As well as on dashboard cameras in the vehicle of Corporal Stephen Douglas, Trooper
100%.
Nicholas Gallo, and Master Corporal Railford Box. Police dashcam audio captures the troopers laughing and giggling at the notion of citing Glassford for using an improper hand-turn signal because of the obscene gesture. He wasn't making a turn, Douglas says. The cell phone video shows stormtroopers approaching Glassford, who was standing in a grassy area next to the shoulder of Route 13 north of Dover. Douglas told Glassford that he was disrupting traffic, which he wasn't. It was just a lie, and we know for the most part cops are trained to what?
And to note it too, that I brought up earlier. Note it too, if you remembered back early in the video, that I circled two other signs. There was a traffic light sign and a sign on the side of the road, probably for hill for mayor or hill for like a councilman. You see them all the time.
Completely dishonest with the entire situation and twist things around and use your words against you so they can build a case against you, not because they're serving and protecting, because they're always on the ready of harassing and collecting. While Gallo, based on a witness report, said Glassford was jumping into traffic. He says you're a liar. And we'll go back to some of this.
Statue. I have armed men coming up threatening to steal my property. You're not taking shit.
Yep.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
A freaking man.
Boom, dab right there.
You see this man? He tried to take my property from my hands. You have no authority whatsoever over me because I've committed no crime.
You're not saying you committed a crime.
You're not saying I committed a crime and you just tried to steal my property.
I didn't try to steal it.
Yes, you did. You said, I am taking. You have nothing.
I'm going to allow you to stand on the
You're not going to not allow me because you have no authority to stop me. Period.
No legitimate authority. Exactly. No authority. As Glassford drove away, he made an obscene gesture at the troopers. Dashcam video shows Douglas racing after him at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour. That's another thing. Douglas put other lives in jeopardy to catch up with the guy who basically just hurt his feelings. Is there a reason why you were doing that? Box told Glassford that he was engaged in disorderly conduct. Take it to court. That's what you want to do. Box replied after Glassford told state stormtroopers that he was going to take legal action. Box also threatened to charge Glassford with resisting arrest. But here's the worst part about this whole thing, as if this wasn't bad enough. We have video dash cam evidence of the cops conspiring against him. So not only did the cops violate 18 U.S.C. 242 deprivation of rights under color of law, they also violated 18 U.S.C. 241 conspiracy against rights. They literally conspired to take his property, which is vehicle,
make up phony,
to take his dog, and to take his kid to CPS and to put him in jail.
They were hurt.
It was literal conspiracy against rights. I'm surprised they didn't bring this up in the lawsuit for the settlement.
That's a
because
good point.
To me, when you take that into consideration on what could have happened to Mr. Glassford at the hands of these Delaware State stormtroopers, it could have been so freaking bad, and $50,000 ain't going to cover your lawyer's fees, not even close. Look what they said. We're going to take you in. We're going to tow the car, and we'll call social services for the kid. You could hear Box in another video saying, hey, he's got a dog. We'll take his dog. He's got a car. We're going to take his car. We're going to take him to jail. He's got a kid. We're going to take his kid. And you start threatening to take the children. You're on a whole different level of psychopathy there.
That's a whole new.
Box said, referring to
That's a whole
Gaspard's
new
young son who was with
fabricated crap,
Gaspard and witnessed
because
his
their
profanity-laden tirade against
were
the officers.
tainted
It's
and
not a
hurt.
threat, it's a promise, Box said. We're not going to see that in this video right here.
No,
I don't
but
know
I've
if
already
this
shown you parts of it
YouTube
on
channel
previous
posted
videos.
that, but if you want to take a look at it, I'll leave a link to the video that
And
I
I've
actually did
seen
on this, but I
the
did want to do a
interaction
follow-up
of
on this.
Brian's older video.
This
that he did
guy
a couple months ago.
successfully brought a suit against them, a federal lawsuit against the Delaware State Police, and won.
No authority to stop
I'm
me.
not going to let you do it, sir. I'm not going to let you do it.
You have no authority to stop me.
You wanted our attention, you got it. I mean,
I don't want your attention. Go the fuck away, road pirate.
You wanted our attention.
Road
Go
pirate.
away, road pirates.
That's what they are. Hey, call them what
Go
they
away.
are.
You're standing here witnessing a man that just tried to attack me.
It's a shame. You got to bring your kid out here on the side.
I'm teaching my kid not to respect pieces of crap like you guys are.
A frickin' man. A frickin' man,
Hell
and well
yeah, more
said.
power,
It's
brother.
rare that you see somebody on camera reading the riot act to cops who deserve it. It's a shame you got to be out here. You know what? It's a shame that you're out here economically terrorizing people who just.
Yeah, I say, oh, shame. And I was like, no, it's a shame that you treat civilian, even little children, like crap. I mean, come on. I did this for a couple months ago. I were Sacramento police rocked in a horn because they're checking on a parolee and a 10-year-old girl. And the cop terrorized and threatened this little child, a 10-year-old girl, little child, put her in handcuffs and threatened to say he was going to take her to jail and lock her up. A 10-year-old child, a little girl was crying. See, this is what they do. They terrorize children. Remember, 4 or 5 months ago, I did a story about an 8-year-old boy. Supposedly, they say they was accused of stealing potato chips. But then they arrest him again. Supposedly, they detained the same boy because they said there was a burglary. I mean, you kidding me? Yeah. And some civilians said, why do you got a cuff like that? In society and in the eyes of the law, police officers are not allowed to handcuff anyone that's ages of 12 and under. But yeah, you got cops out there that love to terrorize children, and no wonder why. So this is why this father, Mr. Glassford, is smart to teaching his son, making his son aware how corrupt and tyrant police officers about how much tyranny there is in this day and age.
Just want to be left alone, who are out here actually exercising their rights. So we have rights in America, and you said you would protect those rights, but you're out here violating these rights?
Yeah.
I want my kid to see that so that they know not to put misplaced trust into officials who pretend to be something they're not. Heroes.
You're jumping in traffic.
Especially in this day and age, you get police officers trying to be like the good guy. Oh, you can trust me. I'm the good guy. I'll protect and serve for you and your community like that. Yeah. One fell swoop, that cock will backstab the kids, kidnap them, instruct like that, place traffic them, rape the little girls for their own sexual gratification.
Keep saying jumping in traffic. When did you witness this offense? No, you came to me. You came to me. You came to me. You came to me.
Tell me that you're jumping out in front of them with the sign.
So they want to lick your boots, let them.
Well, obviously, they have a problem with you.
That's hey, and you know what I have? I'm not right over here.
I'm not going to let you go on the road, sir.
I'm not on the road. I'm not on the road.
You were on the shoulder.
Oh, the shoulder is not the road.
Part of the road.
It is not part of the road. I am
Shoulder's
not
not part of
blocking
the
the
road.
roadway. I am not in the roadway. I haven't jumped in the roadway.
Disrupting traffic.
A lot of times the shoulder could be a sidewalk, and a lot of times the shoulder leads to a driveway or parking entrance. A shoulder is not to qualify, constitute as part of the roadway. Once you pull the shoulder, you're out of the road. You're out of the main flow of traffic.
I'm not.
These guys cost their community $50,000.
$50,000.
Probably didn't get fired. Probably got a paid vacation.
Yep.
Box's
And
dash
one
cam
of the
audio
officers-
also captures
the
the
one
subsequent
that took
call
the guy's
with the
sign,
supervisor
only got
Christopher Pop,
reprimanded.
in which Box
That's it.
acknowledges that citing Gaspard for his hand gesture is, quote, pushing it. You can't do that, Pop tells Box. That will be dropped. They did it anyway. Yeah, it's going to be Dropbox replies. I told Douglas it's definitely going to get thrown out. I said, that's not really going to fly, buddy. Douglas is heard saying that even if the charge would be dropped, at least it inconvenienced Glassford. Is that consistent with serving and protect?
Let me tell you something too about that. Yeah, no, they what officers trying to do, they trying to make it inconvenient for you by wasting your time and wasting resources. Not only that, when they're trying to trample your rights, they're trying to make you as uncomfortable as they can make you be. But it's funny as day when people assert their rights and stand up for their rights, you got cops that say, "Well, you're making me feel uncomfortable." Good. I'm glad I'm making you feel uncomfortable because maybe the fact that you don't, maybe I know the law and my rights more than you do.
I
tell officer, maybe you should go back to after school.
Oh,
and
so
go
when
get
you
your
pull people
credentials.
over with radar, you're disrupting traffic because
And not
they're
get your award
slowing
from a
down.
cracker box,
That's your
yeah.
logic. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
He talks that in front of his kids.
You go and rob people of the cash, brutalize people, and you go home to your kids. That's a shame.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, my
there you
gosh.
go.
Very good.
That's fine. You can stand right there. But I'm not
Stand where I want. You ain't gonna stop me because you have no authority to stop me. Put your hands on me.
Here we go.
See
Here we
what
go.
this motherfucker did?
Hands on.
You see what he did? Don't put your hands on me. Do not.
By the way, I just
see
want
what
to
he
say,
did?
I just want to say, tyranny with a smile.
Look at that tyranny with a smile. And, yeah, that's the tyranny with a smile right there. And what the fuck is up with Trooper Doug's jacked up teeth? Look how jacked up they are. His teeth they're on fucking steroids. Yeah, they look like a horse's fucking grappled smile like that. I mean, I don't know if I walk up to Mr. Douglas and smile back at him or shoot a hunky puck through that gap like Alexander Ovechkin would. Fire the scores! Yeah. I mean, at least he's smiling in daylight. I mean, at least in daylight, you go up to him and say, "Oh, hey, Trooper, like, smile for me. Oh, there you are, Super Trooper, loser."
Is still tyranny.
Yeah.
Tyranny with a laugh, tyranny with jokes, tyranny with an
Yeah,
approach
especially
that
when
looks
they're
nice
they're
is still
smiling
tyranny.
as they violate and trample your rights.
Don't
That's
put
my
your hands
tyranny.
on me.
Of a
Do not-
dirtbag.
Give me my fucking property back. You piece of fucking shit. Give me my property back. You see this? You tyrant piece of
Look
shit.
at that. Look at
He
that.
is rightly pissed.
Yeah.
The
isn't that right,
spirit
Tom?
of liberty is resistance and rebellion. These
Yeah, they make it
cops should
funny.
know it. They know what criminal justice is. They know what they're doing. They know that there are these, well, at least we hear of these quotas. They know what they're doing. And they continue to do it anyway.
You tyrant. What are your fucking badge numbers?
Step back, okay? Don't walk up
No,
to me
you
like that.
stole
Don't
my
walk
fucking
back on-
property.
And why did they do it? Because they truly believe in their heart of hearts. These badge tyrants, these stormtroopers, they truly believe that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you do. They truly believe that they are above you. And
Yep. And let me tell you another thing. The reason why they took his sign as well too, because they were pissed at Mr. Glassford was taking away their revenue. See, there's a one thing that police officers hate more than you stand for their rights, hurting their feelings. What's the one thing they really hate it when you do? You take away their revenue and their money. It's like when you're messing with their income, their money, their revenue, their capital of income, taken away from them writing tickets, charging people with charges, how they can go. Oh, they hate it when you mess with their paycheck. Whoa, because you're messing with their pension.
you are below them. That's how they act.
Yeah.
They might say different
And they
words,
treat
but
you
their
like crap
actions
when you
speak
stand
way
up to
louder
them.
than their words ever could.
Did you see anything in my hands?
You
Stole your
piece
property?
of fucking shit.
Have a nice day.
I want your badge number, you piece of shit. That is assault. You assaulted me standing right here, you
If
piece
he
of shit.
understands statute, he would understand that's not assault.
Nicholas,
That's not assault.
you attacked me, forcibly
What
removed
statute
my
is that?
property.
What
Look at this guy say, Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. I didn't
Well,
see
what
that.
are you talking
If
about?
you did
I just saw. What are you talking
to
about?
a
Took your
cop,
property.
that cop
What
just
are you
did
talking
to this
about?
guy right here, that guy right there would be all over you. You'd be on the ground. You'd have the torture cuffs behind your back. You'd be in the back of that cruiser so fast and out there in fingerprinting so fast you wouldn't even know what hit you. But he's
Heck yeah! I mean, if you did the same thing what they did, that cop did to Mr. Glassford, they would throw your ass to the ground, beat the crap out of you, curb stomp you, taste a bloody crap out of you. Your face be a bloody to the ground. They'll slap on more felony charges than your ass can handle. Next thing you know, you're locked up in jail faster than your mother can sing Kumbaya at the campfire.
he's gonna protect not justice, not morality, not goodness. He's not going to protect his oath or even safeguard his own reputation. He's going to stand firm.
Yeah, they're going to stand firm for their own blue line of tyranny and corruption. That's what they do. They're not going to stand up for rights. They're going to stand for their own thin blue line. Oh, and what color is their uniform? Blue. Yes.
Guarding the thin blue line thug who actually did assault somebody who is innocent.
It's called suck my dick.
Yeah, you know why?
Oh,
Okay, with it, qualified immunity.
All right, could you stop playing in traffic now?
I'm not playing in traffic,
Yeah,
and you're getting a complaint, and you're getting a complaint, and I'm going home, making a new one up, and coming right back here.
Okay. And then we'll come back and
Stay out of the roadway.
I wasn't in the roadway, you piece of shit. So fuck you. Fuck you.
The brave heroes protecting liberty.
The dedicated man
I'll just
on
go
the
to
road.
Put some new stuff.
Protecting our
Make a new one up.
go ahead.
You just
Go ahead and spend your money. Go
stole
ahead.
my property.
Yeah, like
What if he went to the car and he opened the door and he got his sign?
And you got some of the thin blue line lovers that like to back the blues, like, oh, these are the real heroes of America. No, a hero's a firefighter or EMT. These are corrupt gang. These are thug members with badges and guns.
C495-467.
Police officers save lives every day. No, they kill. Firefighters save lives every day. Doctors, nurses, EMT workers save lives every day. Police officers kill lives every day. That's why Eric Brandt used to say, blue lives murder. And he's 100% spot on that one. Yeah.
8186. PC 235314. You understand you just committed a crime.
Yeah,
You stole my property. You had no
Delaware's
authority
fine.
whatsoever to do it. And you know you fucked up. Which troop are you operating out of? 9? That's troop 9.
And when you pull them
Troop
on
9,
for a
you
quick
asshole.
mom, they double down on
Pork
fucked up.
rind, I'm speaking to you.
Pork rind.
I'm speaking to you, pork rind. Where are you operating out of so I can go now and file my complaint?
If you want to address me properly, I'll respond to your.
That's Jonathan Glassford. He won a
$50,000.
$50,000
Hell
settlement
yeah.
against the tramplers of rights. The story.
I will say this as well. Yeah, for Jonathan Glassford, when he did a federal lawsuit against these good guys and he won, I said, score one for the good guy. Boom! Just take it to the man, to the police officers. Yeah, I bet they're limping around like, oh no, we lost.
Troopers of the Delaware State Police Department. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, so yeah. I'm glad Mr. Jonathan got Glassford took him to court. Yeah, see, yeah. Like I said, score one for the good guys. Yeah. See, it just makes me how corrupt police officers can be. Yeah, they fabricate crap, make up laws, make up lies just to justify their own ego and their own pocket. But with that said, I'm out here, my job. Peace out.